Ladies and gentlemen, the next session will begin shortly. Thank you. Our session is about to begin. Please turn off your mix, turn on your camera, and change your name format. The name formats are: for participants, name underscore affiliation underscore country; for moderator, mo underscore name; for speaker, sp underscore name; and for the committee, c underscore name.
Without further ado, we will now begin our next session. We will have a speaker, Dr. Randah Alqurashi. This session will be led by a moderator.
Our moderator for this session is Mrs. Putri Widianti Harlina, Ph.D. Allow me to read her short bio. Mrs. Putri Widianti Harlina is one of the lecturer in Faculty of Agro-Industrial Technology, and she took her bachelor's degree in Technology of Animal Products at Universitas Diponegoro, master degree in Science at Universitas Diponegoro, and also got her Master of Engineering and Ph.D. title at Huazhong Agricultural University, China. Mrs. Putri Widianti have research experience in food lipidomics and metabolomics, food analysis, antioxidant behavior, lipid analysis by GCMS, lipid oxidation, meat quality and tenderness, egg science, food processing, storage and preservation technology, development of volatile flavor, sensory analysis using eNose technology.
To Mrs. Putri PhD, the time and screen is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, MC, for giving me time to lead our afternoon seminar. Honorable Dean, Honorable Vice Dean of the Faculty of Agricultural Industry, Technology, Universitas Pajajaran, Honorable Head of the Organizer Committee of the International Virtual Mobility Program, the Honorable Older Lecturer in the Faculty of Agro-Industrial Technology, and the Honorable all the participants for this program. My name, Putri Widianti Harlina. I will be your moderator today. I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you to this seminar. To give you an overview of what we'll be discussing, we will be covering a theme about the trends and innovation in the food science and technology to address the future challenges as the main theme of the International Virtual Mobility Programs. We will have some time for questions and the comments at the end of the presentation. As a participant, you are encouraged to ask questions, share your thoughts, and present any relevant examples. This means to be an interactive discussion, so please don't hesitate to contribute your insight. Without further ado, let's get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had a great agenda for you this afternoon. Our speaker today, Dr. Randah Alqurashi. She will deliver a topic about the future of food production, innovation, and technology. And let me read her CV. She is Associate Professor at the King Faisal University, Saudi Arabia. She also Vice Dean of the College of Agriculture and Food Science at the King Faisal University, Saudi Arabia. She also renewed expert in the food science and nutrition, and she has published several books and articles about this subject. So, Dr. Randah, are you already joined us?
Yes, hello, how are you? Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you?
Not bad, good, great. Nice to be with you today for the International Mobility Program. So I am so happy to share the knowledge with everyone here around today.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, it's nice to meet you, and we hope. And let me say something to you that you will talk around 60 minutes and
Yes.
30 minutes for discussion. So please, I give you time to deliver your presentation, and the time is yours.
Yes, I'm opening my camera now, and hopefully you can see me clearly. Just if you could share my presentation with you, and I could start. Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna start with today with our presentation title of the future of food production, innovation, and technology. So as you produce me on this talk as a speaker, I'm Dr. Randah Alqurashi, the Vice Dean of College of Agriculture and Food Science in King Faisal University in Saudi Arabia. So when we talk about the future of food production and innovation and technology nowadays, it's a very, like we say, trend topics or hot topics in the world, because we have many things happened on the future or our future. Could you just go to the next slide, please? Next as well. Yeah. So when we talk about our current productions, food production nowadays, it's a lot of challenge we are facing, especially for the new technology used with the new food security as well. As we all see what happened in the COVID time, when we had the COVID time and the food productions exporting the food, it's become very difficult in some part of the world. So also the investment nowadays in food technology, it's become very high, especially in food technology and around all the world. So this is the big challenge happened in all over the world. It's not only in Saudi or in Indonesia. No, it's all over the world. So as a scientist, we are working to find out a good solution to feed the world, and also to be secure in the food productions and food we need, because the food security equal the food nutrition security. When we eat food, we're gonna have nutrition, our good health to be, because we had a lot of our food production and so on. So next slide, please. So yeah, the challenge of food production currently, we have facing a lot of problems, especially with poverty, sustainability of food, agriculture system as well, the farmers and the farms in all over the world. They will have to produce 70% by 2050. So this is it will be a very challenging to all government and stockholders and also the scientists or researchers. طبعا agriculture investment and innovation is boosting activities of food production in all over the world. So this is our current food production. Next slide, please. So when we see the current food production, we are using 40% of our land using for food productions or food production for all. 30% greenhouse gases emissions, and also we use 70% of our fresh water consumptions in the world. This is a big challenge to use this land for agriculture and for farms. This is going to be a big challenge, especially with the global changing or weather changing, and this is all become a challenge in all over the world. Next, please. So when we talk about growing of population, the population is growing very high this recently, and we're gonna almost to be 10 billion by 2050. So the question is how we can feed these people around the world. So everyone they has to think about food production should be in the future will be a big challenge for it. So by 2100, the global population will exceed to be reach 11.2 billion for growth population in all over the world. This is the increasing percentage of global, it will be very high. So the question is how we can feed all these people or all these people in over the world. Have we do some challenge? Have we added some to use technology to produce more food to feed this growing population. So we're going to see what the technology and the challenge will faces and to help us to reach this or to feed this population. Next slide, please. So as we said, growth of population, will be, as we said, 70% to increase in food productions without additional land. So our challenge as a scientist or as a researcher, we are required to increase 70% of our food production, currently food production, without additional landing use or national resources. So this is the big challenge we have to face. We are facing. And we need to find the solution, because the land, we use the land for agriculture and for farms, and will be we need to reduce this by using technology, and this technology, it's our interesting thing we can face, and then we can help the world to feed the world and more food productions. Next slide, please. So the current, as we said, there is four main development placing pressure for the agriculture. As we said, the land, natural resources, climate change, and food waste. This is the four challenging for the future. We have to think about it to find the solutions for food production. And we're going to talk specific about each element, and then we can discuss why it's a big challenge for food agriculture and food production. Next, please. So when we talk about climate change, as we know, climate change will affect agriculture system for all. And also climate change, its impact, global food security, not only for food supply, but also for food quality, food access, and also for food availability. So as we see the global change, it's a big challenging for food security in all over the world. Agriculture as well contribute for the largest share of a global enhance for ambitions as well, or for ambition by further to reduce by 2050 to reduce the ambition for gas emissions all over the world. So this is a big challenge for climate change. As we said, food waste, it's a big of the element for food challenging. So we have to think about the food waste. As the statistic analysis recently data showing that 33 to 50% of our food production globally are never eaten. It's a waste, but never eaten. And this is the big problems for food wasting. So they produce the food, but nobody eat them, and it goes as a waste. The value of wasted food, it's more than 1 trillion pound. Will be cost in the world. Food waste is also affect environmental and food that not never eating. It's count 25% of all fresh water globally we used. As well, the food waste doesn't affect only land or water or energy, also affect manufacturing, packaging, and also the landfill for the enhance, which 3 times of the carbon dioxide for the emission in over the world. And this is a big challenge. We have to think about it as a scientist or as a researcher to find a way to reduce food challenge. Next slide, please. So also we said about the land, and we have used a lot of people as we grow. We use a lot of land for people for a town or for the city to stay. This is a big challenge for agriculture. So no, we can't grow the food because we don't have a land or people growing to be increased. As we see the statistic, they said the population will increase as we talked previously. Next slide, please. So also increasing food production globally, and as we see the percentage here, increasing protein productions by 2050 with the livestock required. So we require like 60 billion animals, and 55 million of kilometers of the land we use, and this is all be challenged to feed the population and to feed the people around the world. And this is a big challenge for the farms. As we see, the protein, it's one of the macronutrients needed for a human. And as we see, and I will give you an example for using technology nowadays, how to reduce food protein and use technology to reduction of protein producing in the world. Next slide, please. So yeah, when we talk about, now we talk about, previously we talk about the challenging and the problems with the food production or current situation for the food production. When we talk about the challengings, how to feed growth of population without destroy our plant. So this is our big questions. We have all of us to think about it. How can I feed all people around the world without destroy our planet? The earth. So without using waters, without using a lot of waters, fresh waters, and without using a lot of land, and also using technology to feed or to produce more food to feed the growth, increased growth of population. So when we talk about the new technology and investment, I will give you an example for where is the world goes for this technology and where the investment nowadays goes to the food technology. And this is a big challenge. We're going to see it in the near future. For example, I will give you some example for startup companies. Agriculture technology startup companies have from more than 80% per year since 2012. So increase a lot in all over the world, startup companies in food technology specifically. I give you some example for Bill Gates, for example, and Richard Branson, startup in the growth of clean meat. So they invest in the clean meat, and I will explain what is clean meat later on in our talk. So Bill Gates and Richard, they spend or they start or work with startup company for a clean meat. IKEA and David invest 40 billions in agro farmers and vertical farming. So this is a new technology for food production. KKR's, it's a big company, invest $100 million of dollars in climate agriculture farms. So that means the food technology investment nowadays has become very trendy in the world to feed the world and also to invest in the food technology, especially. For example, the SoftBank invests $200 billion in food in tech farms or technology farms. So that means a startup company, we have to think about the food technology and what type of food technology we're going to use. Next slide, please. So I will give you some example also for new food technology. Agriculture innovators are protecting crop and maxing output, and also using reduction of water use, as we said, and gas emissions, greenhouse gases to be lower. And this is technology we are using nowadays, or we're going to see it in the near future. They use, they have a goals to reduce the lower greenhouse gases and reduce water use, and don't destroy the land or destroy our land or our planet. So this is the main goals for the food technology nowadays. Next slide, please. Yeah, we talk about this slide previously about the reduction, but just to show you the percentage. And we can see in these figures, new food technology investments, see how they increased by 2015. So the investment or the company startup globally, how they invest on the food technology investment. So this number we're going to increase by, even by this time, or next year or before 2030. So will be very high investment in food technology or new food technology using in this world. Next, please. Also, this is percentage. They saw the global agri investment by regions or by companies. For example, USA, it's the highest startup companies invest in the food technology. And also the second one is Singapore, China. They use, it will be the second country in the world they invest startup company, or they encourage startup company to work in food technology. And then India, and then Brazil and UK, and so on, all over the world. So that means nowadays we are working on food technology investment. It's one of the big challenge or big investment in all over the world. Next, please. So I will give you one example of Singapore, because Singapore is a small company, a small country, and it's invest a lot of food technology, heavier expand food technology compared to others company to improve food security. For example, in 2021, about 40 startup companies in Singapore has been established in food technology and agriculture technology. I give you some an example for this company. For example, Shoko Meat, it's developing cell-based in seafood and meat, and invest by $20 million. Another example for some startup company, nutritional technology, it's a manufacturer invest protein and oil from animal feed and pet feed sector. So to use it to feed animals by using proteins and oil from the animals. And also the company Application Fig, it's apps or application to help consume more, make more sustainability of choosing, including food, and it's funded by $5 million. So this is all startup company in Singapore was invest in food technology or a new food technology. Next slide, please. So this is some an example for food technology company startup in 2022. So it's already in the market and already work on the food technology. If you want to read more about it, you can search online about this company and see the food technology or a new food technology that are gonna use in the world. Next, please. Yeah, they're using a new food technology and agriculture. As we say, we have to think a lot about producing differently and more food using a new technology. This is the big challenge or the important challenge to use it. Also using a new technology to bring food production for consumer, increasing food chain or food production in the world. Also, we have to think about the ingredients, innovations, and building healthy people for sustainability of more food in the world. So this is the big new technology solution. We're going to help to reduce food insecurity. So as we think about this food technology, it's very important to produce more food. Next slide. So I will give you some an example for some technology already in the market, and it's work on the food technology and food. It will be in our future food challenge. For example, smart food packaging. Nowadays, scientists, they produce smart packaging for the food. And this is technology, it's very smart to reduce food waste because and expand shelf life of the food. So the shelf life will be increased, and then the food will become fresh, and we reduce the food waste and improve safely or improve the safety of food before contamination or so on. So this is the three main goals for this smart packaging, and it's already in the market for reducing food waste and extending shelf life. Another example I will give you for the food clean meat. As I told you now, many companies in all over the world, they work on increase more protein, because they, as we said, the land using for animals productions or for growing animals, it will be costing a lot of money, and also using a lot of land and greenhouse emissions and so on. So nowadays the in vitro meat, clean meat, or as we call it, clean meat, it's a new technology. Also, this is an efficient technology to begin, was begin in early 2013. So, so to increase more protein in the market. For example, this type of clean meat to reduce agriculture water using by 90-80%. So this is a very reductions of water use for the animal or growing animal. Also, growing plant and air, environmental, it's less ambition for environmental or to keep environmental clean. And reduction enhanced gas ambition, as we said previously. So this is one of the technology used, and it's already in the market, in UK market and USA market already. They took cells, briefly we can explain for it. They took cells from animals and they took it in the lab, as we saw in the picture here. And then they start to grow the meat, and they did a lot of tests in human being, and it's already in the UK market. And now a lot of companies, they invest in this technology. Next slide, please. Another example for virtual and urban growth farming, and this is already in the market. It's one of the technology using to grow fruit and vegetables, some fruit and vegetables inside the greenhouse or in the farming, controlling, we call it controlling environmental for the plant. And this is a good one of the point. It's good to grow the fruit and vegetable for whole year, and we can produce or using any times for the fruit. And this type of technology using less water requirement by 95% of less water requirement. And also zero contamination or resided or any fungals of the plant or any an animal itself. Next slide. Another new technology, we call it 3D food printing. It's already a new technology to 3D food printing has already made the way to the market and or in the kitchen. And it's easy to supply our food and bring the food in the market, and we can design the food for gluten-free, for vegetarians people, and it will be very nice to print the food, and already this in some market in UK and USA. Next slide, please. Novel ingredients, it's one of the also new technology will improve diet for better food productions and to access the food. So we extracted the novel ingredient from some type of food, and then we use it for industry or food industry to use it. We call it as a novel food or novel food. This is one of the company in the market already to produce novel ingredients that we can use in for food industry to help improve human health. Next, please. And as we say, we're using report also for grounded or for the agriculture system. Now, technology nowadays, they get to use report for using, as we saw in the picture here. And now over 90,000 reports are using in the globally for food and beverage manufacture industry. So this is a new technology to help to produce food or more food for our food future challenging in the future. Next, please. So yes, our question now, after we saw all the challenging in food production and after we see the new technology in the market, can food technology and innovations help improve human health? So what do you think about this question? We have to think about, this is a new food technology. Can we help us for human health? At the end, this food production or using food technology to produce food, we're going to eat that food for a human being. And then this human health can be improved after this food technology. We can answer this question for next slide. Can you go to next slide, please? We can say yes in some point. For example, there is a company called it Beyond Meat. This in Los Angeles based company made the first plant-based burger for vegetarian people. They don't eat, for example, meat, or they have any problem for eating animal product. So they produce food for vegetarians. We call it plant-based burger. And also there is another company selling low potassium fruit and vegetable for growth for a clean rooms like when we see in the picture. And this is using for kidney people with the kidney diseases, because potassium, it's low in potassium, and as we know, the potassium will affect, high potassium food will affect people with kidney disease. So this company produce fruit and vegetables less in potassium. This for patients suffering from kidney disease we can eat. So the question is, the new technology using in all over the world can be help human health, or can be helping human health in the future. Next slide. So in terms of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, here we are working very hard to reach this food security, and we help to feed people and growth of people. And as we said, we have Ministry of Environmental, Water, Agricultures in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and they work hard for invest in a lot of company, new company and startup company in food security and food technology nowadays. And also we have General Food Security Authorizing for food security. And also we have a NEOM. If you heard about NEOM, it's a new cities in Saudi Arabia, and this cities, it's growth of fruit and vegetables and environmental sustainability of food security in that place. So we use all the for production of food, we use all greenhouses, and also we use a new technology for production without destroy the land, or without using a lot of water, because as we see, Saudi Arabia, we have less water than other country in the world, because we are living in desert. So we don't have a lot of water. So we have to think about this technology, and our government and ministries now working so hard to achieve this point. And we're going to see in the future a lot of food production here in Saudi Arabia for a new startup company. Also, our King Faisal University, our identity in the university, food security and environmental sustainability, and we are working with in a lot of projects to enhance food production for growing and find out the solution for increased food security and environmental sustainability in Saudi Arabia. Next slide, please. So before the end of our talk, our key messages to take away from all of us after this presentation: the food we have eaten and beverages we are drinking today will be not the same in 20 years later. So this is we have to think about it for the future. So next generation, we're going to eat different food than what we eat nowadays. The food industry need to reshape itself to meet the new food technology already in the market. So any food industry nowadays produce, they have to adapt with the new technology to produce more food and food for feeding the world. And also government and stockholder and researcher, scientists should contribute to improve food security worldwide. Global economy growth, investment in food production, food marketing, as well food technology are growing very rapidly. So this is one of the impact for the food technology. So food global economy, it's to growth for growing investment in food technology. Nowadays, it's very growing very rapidly. So we have to catch up with this new technology, and to have to bring it to our life or our countries to improve the food technology. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we are in the end now of our talk. So our reference we have used, and thank you so much for listening to my talk today, and hopefully you get some knowledge about what happened in the food production or innovations for our food future soon. We can see and what we have to think about. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Randah, for your insightful presentation. I'm sure our audience has learned a lot from you today. And before we move to the Q&A session, I have some few questions for you.
Yeah.
So, according to your presentation, I am interested in the culture meat or clean meat, right? So, what do you think, in your opinion, what are the some current trends and the challenges for this culture meat? And do you know, and how do you see the future of this field for the next future? I mean, the next, the challenges for the next future for this clean meat, because
Yeah.
last month I just coming back from the US, and also
Yeah.
in there I was meeting with my colleague from the Department Animal Science in the UC Davis, and also
Yeah.
we have some discussion about this clean meat, or we call culture meat, because in the US also this is something new. This culture meat is something new, and right now, as I know, only in the Singapore they already produce and commercially the culture meat. So even in the US, they are still not commercially being the sell in the public, in the market. So I just want to know your opinions. What do you see? How do you see this the future of this clean meat? And also the second question is, how about the halal point of view for this culture meat? And
Mm.
also the food regulation for this culture meat. Also, I think we still don't have, right? Maybe in the FIO or some another, maybe in the America also, in the US also, like USDA also. I think
Yes.
they are still don't have developed the regulation.
Yes. So my opinion of food, clean meat or culture meat, it's the company now, they work so hard on this type of to produce more clean meat. And there is a many companies nowadays working on that field. And I think it's a good investment, and they are working to be in the market soon. And as you said, it's already in some market. And in UK, we have it. I saw it in UK market as well. And some people, they are especially vegetarian people, they like this type of meat. I think in the future will be in the market, but maybe it's not near the future. So, but it will be in the future, next future. So 10 years maybe later or something. Because as you said, the investment of in this kind of technology, it's a lot, and many companies now they keen to invest in this clean meat, especially people they are vegetarian people. They thought, oh, this is the solution for us, so now we can eat meat, but it's without killing animals or so on. So this is one of the point. For the point of halal, as I know, in Saudi Arabia we don't have this type of meat. And we need to approve this type of meat if will come in the market. I don't know in the future, but if will be in the market, we need, we see what we're gonna see about this future. The regulation should they have to work on this point, and maybe we're gonna see it in the market in the future. I don't know. But still under investigate. I think we don't have it in the Saudi market, but maybe in the future we're going to see it in somewhere. But as I know, all companies now, they are very interested to invest in this kind of technology. And in the beginning, because they started the first company to 2013, and it was very expensive technology. And even if you want to buy the meat or burgers or so on, it's very expensive, more than the normal meat, 10 times more than normal meat. So people, they will not buy them. And now the technology they use, they reduce the prices and to produce different way to produce this type of meat. So maybe in the future will become a normal price as an animal meat, but gonna see the future. In Saudi Arabia, some people, when they ask them about this type of technology, they said it's strange for them. They will not buy it in the market. But I think maybe in another countries it will be acceptable for the consumers. I don't know. We're gonna see in the future what will happen.
And okay, thank you for your excellent answer. So the second my question is, do you have any advice or tips for our audience who want to learn more about this food innovation technology or to get involved in this field?
The advice is the food industry nowadays or in the past, it's not will be in the future. So this is my opinion when I see the food technology investment or food technology companies, startup companies. So the audience should think about what we will have and think about different idea about what the challenge in the future and how to find out to find a solution or innovators to work on this field. And my also advice to them, read a lot about the new technology and see what the future will goes and where we're gonna go in the near of the future. So because the food technology, it's a big challenge and it's rapid challenging as well. So as I said, the food we are eating now, it's not will be in the 20 years later. So because it's rapid challenging, so we have to adapt with this one, and we have to read about the new technology and see we go in this way, and also doing some research on the new technology and see what is will be in the future.
Okay, right. Thank you for your answer. So, okay, let's now we move on to the audience for the question. Please raise your hand or use the column chat in the Zoom meeting if you have any question, and don't forget to mention your name before giving the opinion, question, or even answer. Is there any question? The live question? Okay, also there is some question from Fetri Yuna from Universitas Pajajaran Indonesia. She asks about, I would like to ask the scheme or action to minimize the gap between developed and developing countries in the term of disparities of the technology applied in the food production and handling of the waste in the agricultural activities. Oh, Dr. Randah, I'm sorry. I think you.
I think now, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. So yeah, the thing is now for developing country should encourage or working hard to develop developing food productions to feed people, because the thing is for academia or for scientists or for university as well researchers, they have to help for developing these countries or their countries in terms of food production and food technology. So I think the future it will be challenge for all countries, not only for developing countries, but for our also government. They have to work in this field for even food waste. Food waste now, it's a big challenge for all over the world. As I said previously, the statistics say more than 30% or 40% for our food, it's waste before eat them or eaten. So it's a big challenge. We produce food, but nobody eats them. So and become a waste. So they have to find a solution. And this is one of the company I heard about. They use this type of wasting food to produce a new food for the future. So this is one of the challenge we have to think about it. And also the government, they have to, our governments and all governments in the world, they have to think to reduce the food waste and also to start to invest these startup company and to work in the near the future.
All right, thank you for your answer. So next question. Next question is from Vira. Vira is from Universitas Padjadjaran, Indonesia. She asks about what innovative approaches are being adopted in the agricultural to reduce the food waste throughout the supply chain from the production to the consumption.
Yeah. So this is also one of the challenge or one of the innovators of food production. We have to work on it because now there is a company, startup companies, they work on producing or to collecting that waste food from farmers. As we know, the food farmers or the farmers, they have a lot of food waste before to go to on the market. So there is some company, they collect that, or startup company, they collect that wasting food before go to the market to produce more food, as I said, or to produce novel ingredients, to extract more bioactive compound, or they produce more fruit and veg, or more ingredients to produce another food. So they have to link between startup companies or invest government or company to the farmers, or as well to the markets to collecting food waste. And also the big challenge to do a lot of knowledge or information, share information about the consumer, about food waste. This is one of the challenge also for human being. They wasting a lot of food before they eat them, or they don't eat them, like food in from the restaurant or food from at house. So we have to advise people how to reduce food waste and where to collect that food waste to give it to the market or give it to the startup company to use that waste food for producing more food. And we saw these companies working in some other countries like in USA or for invest this type of wasting food to produce other food. And this is, it's a money, volume of the money to reduce in the future.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. So there is a next question from Nizam. He's from Malaysia. So what's your opinion? How to encourage more academia to have their own startup to commercial their research?
This is a very good question, because the academia and researchers not will be like previous one or previously working. Nowadays, most of the academias and some companies in all over the world, they start their own startup companies. After doing a lot of, for example, research or find a solution for some challenging in the food production, or innovators as well. And this is, we're going to start startup companies to produce that food. So this is the big, a big challenge for the academia nowadays. And my advice is for the all researcher or young researchers, as we said, think about your own startup companies to invest in food productions, because this is our future life or future on food challenging or future challenging in the food production. And also the companies and the government in the world, they can, and also in the UK and USA now, they invest, also in Saudi Arabia, they invest money for people. They are working on a startup company for a while to give them some money as a fund to start up their own companies or startup companies in food production. And also I'm encouraging universities as well to help and to fund this type of food productions or startup food productions company, because this is our future. And I can see the future, near future, will be adapting this technology and working on this technology for the future, because this is a big challenge for our future in food technology production.
Excellent answer. So thank you, Dr. Randah. There is another question from Arina Fril from the Sriwijaya University, Palembang, in Indonesia. So the question is, which intervention should be our government do
to encourage everyone in the country in applying valorization or circular economy in any field to manage waste, especially the food waste?
Very good question. As I said previously, food waste, it's a big challenge for all countries, not only some countries. It's a big challenge. And I know there is a 3 or 4 points we have to think about it to reductions food waste, to help public people to reduce their food waste, or at least to use it for food productions in the future, or use it with the company. And also we have to teach from the schools, not only from the schools, we have to teach students, young generations, how to reduce their food waste and how to manage their food waste. And this is very important. Also families at house or at some point, we have to teach them how they reduce food waste, because this is one of the big challenge for reductions of food waste. On the other hand, government should work hard to reduce food waste and use that food waste for the future challenging. It's not only it's low value of money. No, it's a very high value of money. And I can give you some example. For example, waste of the trees. Some companies, they collect the waste of some trees from the farmers, and the investment for new technology use it for producing another type of challenging or reducing challenging of something else. And this is one of the big challenge for the future, as I said previously. So I think it's not only one hand. All the hands should work together: families, schools, governments, universities, researchers, stockholders, also the market should work, all of them in different point or different level to reduce food waste in the future.
All right. Okay. There is last question. There is a question about what are the key trends and in innovation shaping the future of product development in the Saudi Arabia, particularly in the context of its evolving economic landscape and technological advancement?
Yeah. For example, in Saudi Arabia, as I said, we have a challenge from land, from global change, climate change, also weather as well. As we said, water, low water we have. So the government now and researchers, we work to find out the solution on this and this challenging. And we also, the government invest in all companies that to produce food to feed the people inside inside Saudi. We have a company now in Saudi Arabia, call it Neom. It's semi-government companies, Neom and the Line, and they work really hard to invest in food productions and also for our future food. And I encourage some people, they are interesting to read about these projects, to see in the online, to search about Neom. We call it our future food. So this is to produce food and fruit and vegetable and food to feed people in Saudi Arabia, and encourage startup company as well. They work in this field for using technology for the future.
All right. So I think this topic is so interesting because so many audience asking the question. So before I was say last question, so now I opening again another question for you. So this is from the Johnny Leonard. He asked that, are there specific emerging technologies that the doctor believe will have a significant impact on the future of the food industry?
For my opinion, if you ask my opinion, I will say the food industry nowadays, it's not will be same in the future in 20 years later. So that's why my advice in the presentation, what I said, food industry should be adapt with the new technology. This is must be using a new technology because the productions of food dramatically goes differently than previous, for example, normal farms or normal agriculture. It's not will be work in the future. So my opinion, it's all companies and food industry should adapt with the new technology to produce more food and to adapt with our future food where we goes. Because technology, it's one of the it's a part of our life. So we have to adapt with the new technology, especially as we said, robots or other technology they use, food packaging, smart food packaging, for safety of food and also to increase shelf life of the food. This is a benefit for the new food industry or food companies when they use this technology. Maybe nowadays it's a bit expensive compared to the previous technology, but must be adapted with the future technology that used because it will be part of our life in the future. Yeah.
Question? Okay, I can see there is still 2 questions in the chat box. It is okay for you if we
Yes.
open the question?
Happy to answer any question.
All right. Okay, let me read the question. Okay, one question is from Dian Kurniati. She is from Indonesia. She asked, I would like to ask your opinion on the use of nanosensor technology in the smart food packaging.
Yeah, as I said, the smart food packaging, it's very trendy now in some companies and they work a bit hard for food because the big challenge for food industry, how to increase the shelf life of the food to go to the consumer before the shelf life reductions, because food productions and food chain, it will take too long before to go to the consumer, and maybe some food of waste before eating it will be destroyed because the shelf life less shelf life. So that the thing is smart food packaging, it's one of the challenging and new technology that interesting to the whole food industry. So nanosectors is one of the technology, and we're going to see it in the future, near future, because some companies, they invest in nanosectors, as I read in some articles. Some articles, they use nanosector technology for food, smart food packaging. It's one of the technology that can help food productions and help to increase the shelf life of the food. I think it's all acceptable for the food industry in the future.
All right, there is a last question from Sofia Rahima. She is from Indonesia. She asked about what the role does the consumer education could be role play in the influencing sustainable choices regarding the future of the food.
Yeah, this is education. It's a big part of, as I said previously, big part of the reduction of food waste, as well using technology, reduction for consumers. And this is, I think this is one of the part for nutrition's educations to help people and to help public people about the food production and sustainabilities of the food. So I think there is a link. We can't separate them. There is a link between consumers and our future food. What the consumer they looking for, what the new rules to sustainability of the food, and how they are working on that food. It will help the food productions and also food future. So I don't think it will be separating. It's food consumer education. So one of the parts to help for sustainability and food for future of food. And most of the companies, startup companies, invest in the food futures. It's all comes from consumer needs or consumer looking for the type of fruit or type of food they are looking for to eat in the future. And I give some an example in my presentation about how the company startup to produce vegetables less in potassium to feed consumers. They are or patient with kidney disease. So this is a consumer need for their future food or food they need it.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Randah, for your excellent answer and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. I'm sure our audience has gained a lot of the valuable insight from you today. So now we have to come to the end of our seminar about the future of food production, innovation, and technology. So for the participant, I hope you have enjoyed this session and gained some valuable insight and knowledge from our speaker. So before we close this session, let me briefly summarize the main point from our speaker. So Dr. Randah Alqurashi explained to us about the future of the food production, innovation, and technology. And she also already showed us how the food production, innovation, and the technology works and what are the key concepts and principles behind it. So, and also we already have some lively and interesting discussion and question from the audience. And thank you very much for your active involvement and contribution. And also we would like to give you a certificate as a speaker.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, here's the certificate awarded to you as a speaker. We are very thankful to having you today. We hope that we could develop more collaboration in the near future.
Yes, we will. We are happy to collaborate, and I'm so happy to be a part of your interesting program and to share the knowledge about in our countries or in the future of food. It was a pleasure to be with you, all of you, and hopefully you are good at some new information about food technology and productions in the world. So, and I'm looking to see you in the futures, and we can collaborate in the future for some project or conferences in the future.
Okay. Finally, I would like to thank you to all of you for joining us today. I hope you have learning something new and useful from this seminar. Thank you very much and have a great day. For MC, I will bring back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Our wonderful moderator in this session.
And thank you very much,